Okay. You see this pattern on my windshield here? These two, like, dots there? This is the pattern of MC square. Right here. Right? That's the pattern of MC square. How did this get here? Well, this is where the windshield wipers end, right? And what I did was I took a cloth and I wiped the inside of my car. Specifically, I used one of these. Where is it? It's in here somewhere. Specifically, I used one of these. I used this. I wiped down my entire windshield from left to right, except for that little corner over there. I smoke in my car, so there's dust and stuff there. I wiped that with this until it dried, which left like shit there. I then took a sweatshirt and I put some water on that sweatshirt sleeve and I wiped down the shit there. This was while it was raining. So I had water on the outside streaming down, kind of like this water here that fell from the ice on my roof. And you'll actually notice that it's MC squaring right there. Right? You'll see that water drop is MC squaring. See? It just did the spike. And now it's going down again. So this particular light, so this is what creates a black hole, so to speak, right? This is a pi fragment. This right here, what you're looking at, of this little water droplet spiking like that, that's this pi fragment like this. Meaning that water droplet is acting as light at this moment, okay? And that is what happened up here when I wiped down my windshield. And a water droplet like that, but this water droplet's on the outside. The water droplet I had was on the inside, while I had a whole grid of these things falling down because it was raining. There was a lot of feathery water droplets over on this side of the window, which then moved over to the center and entered a beam of water like that, which then hit the side of this window that was unwiped, rolled down the window, intersected with a particle of some sort about, it's kind of hard to get this, about right here. So you have like an arch, kinda. A water droplet hit that arch, arched down and hit a particle about right here, which caused the water to turn brown and shoot out one there in here. And then it then spiked and split into two. That is MC square, right? This, I believe, was the energy release, and this was the consumption of energy. So this is 1 unit of that in theory, right? And then it goes down and it spikes to reflect that passage of the, basically the curvature of space of this particle here. It crosses an intercept. You'll see that this spike is perfectly in line with this, and that these two dots, it was about right here-ish, I believe. It's about right there where the origin of that water launched. And those two dots were orbiting perfectly around. These two dots, this two dot, around this point right there. They were perfectly in line with that. And there was another third droplet that formed right here. And that was also perfectly in line with this point here. Let's see. Boom. Kind of. That point right there. So that is what MC square looks like, okay? When you have that splitting and that spike, that is when that's after the collision, right? When you have the consumption and the output. Knowing this pattern, if you look at the sky relative to the sunlight, Now, right now the sun's behind me, so this is an awkward angle to look at it. But if you follow the light beams in the clouds, like the darker clouds, those are actually shadows of things on land, and basically the clear clouds are usually something like light or water. It's like something reflective, right? So if you follow, where's my pen? My lockpick. If you follow these lines, you'll see something about right here, and you'll see a pi fragment right there, triangle, square, pi fragment. And it transfers over here. And usually when you see a pi fragment like that, you know, like a sine, cosine, inverse cosine is happening. So it's actually bending in space and changing directions. So it's no longer going this way, it's probably now going that way towards the sun, right? And if you just keep following these lines and you follow MC square, always following the biggest proportion, or where it's like being launched, like when I saw with the I call it a black hole, when I saw the water droplet that launched to the edge here, like you could see it looked like a meteor almost, right? A mass with a light beam around it, basically, though that light can be represented as the other matter in it. So basically, if you keep following this stuff, you'll start to see triangles after a while. Like up here, you have kind of what I call it the all-seeing eye, where it means you're getting close, right? My window's a little dirty, but basically, if you follow that, you'll end up way over there. And you'll realize from those observations that the clouds are actually following the sun. And if you follow the light in the clouds, not the darkness, but the light, and follow the path it takes, you will eventually come across a shape that looks like this, like a face. Okay? That face is usually found around the sun. And the reason you're seeing this face is because this face is the representation of a square root. Square root. How does this happen? How does a square root happen? Well, you do MC square, you create light. You then have that light squished together, right? So each of these squares in the middle, they get removed, and the triangles get pushed together. And when you do that, you end up with this shape, an input and an output. So all the clouds are being drawn into this central focus point. You can call it the event horizon of the sun's curvature, and then it's being blasted off. So it's coming in here, and it's coming launched out here. So it's usually, think of this as like being folded, right? It's not necessarily flat, but through all that, through this geometry here, if you follow it in the sky, you follow it in all things, right? Like right there, I call that an all-seeing eye, right? That thing in the middle. And you can see that it is indeed causing a bend in space. Like you can see that this existence here, this is the black hole, right? I just disrupted it, but that gravity was being, that ice fell because that black hole was pulling shit towards it, okay? That's why that was like that. That's why it fell. Now, is it a black hole that you would see in outer space? Yes, just not with the same amount of energy.